Hey, good morning. Adora here, owner of Adora Crystal, and known for being this girl talk expert and sacred consultant to the spiritual woman. And I offer the program 5 Days to Orgasmic Living. It's a free program. If you haven't opted into that, I'll put the link here. I'm wanting to talk with you today about ascension. And what has me thinking about this, several things. Have you ever started a diet and you're so on it? You're so just drinking your green drinks, getting up every day, working out like you're supposed to work out, and then suddenly the pendulum swings and you're eating a whole bunch of crap and drinking a whole bunch of stuff you didn't plan on drinking, and then the next day you feel like shiz. Or maybe you've made some new spiritual choices for yourself. So you're doing all these things, you're meditating, you've gotten out, you've removed yourself from the toxic people. Maybe you went really extreme and eliminated certain types of music, and then you find yourself on a Friday night doing some very toxic things and gossiping and drinking and being just this other version of yourself. Or the one I've been surrounded with a lot lately, maybe you're in a relationship that you're not sure of anymore. Maybe you've made a you're in this committed relationship, this is the person you want, or you've broken up. This is what I've heard most of. So people that have broken up with other people, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? What did I do? And so they go back and say, hey, let's try to work this out. And then they get it all worked out, and then boom, they're not sure they want to be in this relationship anymore. So that can feel pretty wobbly, pretty kind of bipolar, or it can feel like being a hypocrite even. Like in one moment you're so solid and really in this choice, and then the next moment something very opposing feels like it's running through your body. And if you're watching someone else, you might go, the person's such a hypocrite, or they have no integrity, or they're crazy, they're bipolar. So I have a few theories about that I want to share with you this morning. So one, first of all, many of you may already know this, we have our shadow and we have our light. And most of us are comfortable with our light and the ideas about ourselves that are just the best, at least when we're justifying our actions. I know a lot of people have negative self-talk, and that's a whole other live. But our shadow is this hidden thing that stays behind the ego, and it can feel a bit darker, and it can become darker if you resist that part of yourself. So if you know you've done some shadow resistance and are starting to come to peace with that, give me an amen, or oh yeah, I've been there, or my shadow's a beast. Because it's important work. It's owning your shadow work. And the more you own your shadow and your light, so some people are all in their shadow and disown their light, and then the balance is owning their light. Hi there. And some people disown their shadow and are pretending they're only in the light. So when the shadow side comes up, then there is this kind of pendulum that swings and this raging, dance with the shadow, and then this guilt and shame afterwards. Hello, say hello if you're here with me. And so I'm talking about light and dark, and that we all have both, and that when we disown our light, a lot of times we live, if you're disowning your light, you'll live in guilt and shame, always making everyone better than you, making yourself wrong, never asking for what you really want, always overgiving and wishing you were more, always hating your body, always hating yourself. If you're only owning your light for the most part and disowning your shadow, then when your shadow side comes up, you resist it, hate it, and then till boom, it takes over, and now you're eating chocolate cake, having an affair, doing something that you said, gossiping, doing something you said that you wouldn't do. And then there is the afterburn of that, of guilt and shame. And then there's this whole crazy cycle that keeps you feeling bipolar and not aligned. So the first step, if you're feeling bipolar or like a hypocrite, is, am I owning my light? Am I owning my shadow? And if you don't know what either of those are, there's a lot, we can have a soul chat about it, and I can help you walk through that. It's one of the free gifts that I'm giving away today. So now the second thing to know is sometimes, well, not sometimes, in ascension, this bipolar feeling is necessary, totally. So when you're at one level in your life and then you're ascending energetically, mentally, spiritually, relationship, wherever the ascension is happening, there's going to be this kind of breaking up of and this, you know, one moment I'm this, one moment I'm that, because you're not, think of a teenager, a teenage woman, you know, before as she's becoming a teenager, just before that she was a child, right? So there's still these childish ideas, and she's part child and now, but not quite an adult, right? So the voice is all over the place, the emotions and hormones can be all over the place. One minute she's sweet and loving and the adoring little girl, and the next minute she's raging. And the same thing with guys, is there's this in-between phase that is really important to recognize, not only in yourself, but in others. And here's something else to say about that, is that when you're in the middle of ascension, having some mercy and understanding for yourself and awareness that, oh yeah, of course, I'm going to be a little all over the place. Of course, when you have that come from of like, we're safe, instead of like, oh my God, an earthquake is happening, what's happening, my world's coming apart, right? That adds something extra to the whole equation. So give some awareness, give some love. And then for the people in your life, I think a lot of people lose people. You've heard people say, we started in one place and then we grew apart. Well, you don't have to grow apart. Sometimes that actually does happen, and it's totally inevitable. But that growing apart could be a growing with, if the reason people grow apart is because one partner is expecting and holding the other partner in the place that they first met. And the other partner is like ascending. And the first partner is like, wait, come back. You're so weird. What's happening to you? You're not the person I knew. Well, I hope not. I hope they're not the person that you thought you met, because we all should be evolving, growing, and changing. And I do know there are core values and core things, but sometimes even what we think is true changes. So having mercy for someone else and realize, and even anticipating with excitement, ooh, I kicked that light. Even anticipating with excitement the growth and the change can be so beautiful, so lovely for keeping a relationship fresh and close and tight. And by doing that for other people, not only are we more aware, not shocked when things start changing, but also whatever we give to other people, we get back within ourselves, because we're running that energy through ourselves. And first, we should be doing this for ourselves. So realizing, hey, what feels like bipolar, confused, hypocrite, am I going through an ascension? And yes, if the answer is yes, I'm going through an ascension, and what area of my life am I ascending in? Then go, okay, I'm going to have mercy for those kind of parts of me that are still from before, and know that that's still totally me and totally fine. And then as I'm ascending, I'm going to be, not so rigid about it has to be XYZ. I'm going to allow that flow and appreciate the diversity. And then check in too, hi Rudy, and then check in too to see, well, am I just disowning my light? Am I just disowning my shadow? So that you can bring the culmination together and have mercy for light and dark. Because again, if you only see yourself as the light, you ignore the shadow, then you're going to feel really guilty when the shadow comes up, and it's going to become a monster. Really, it's going to end up taking over because it wants its voice. If you only own your darkness, then you're never going to accept the light that you are and really have that. So that's one way to bring that integration together. The second is when you're ascending, remember, okay, it's like a teenager. I'm still part boy or part girl, and I'm also part woman. So it's this kind of transitional phase that can feel really chaotic, but just knowing that it's normal and having some mercy for yourself can, you know, help make it a little like, okay, it's supposed to be happening. And you can enjoy that ride and appreciate, like, wow, weren't you just hating chocolate a minute ago and now you want chocolate? Wow, it's interesting. Instead of, oh no, you want chocolate. I thought you were never eating chocolate again. You're such a liar. You know, that it just adds a whole bunch to the picture that doesn't belong. And then when you're dealing with other people in a relationship, realizing that everyone is called to ascend. We're constantly evolving and growing. Some people get stuck and they don't. They get stuck in that teenager phase of life or whatever phase, and they don't ascend anymore, and they can be resisting light and dark and then get stuck in that bipolar hypocrite kind of world. But if you are ascending and the people in your life, if you're supporting their ascension, then don't be the person that's just nagging them for, oh, I thought you were going to the gym today. Oh, I thought you weren't going to drink anymore. I thought, you know, blah, 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 blah. Because again, with ascension comes this wobble of like, are you that superhero yet? You're becoming that. We are our own superhero in any moment. But whatever that next level is, there is a process in between, and it's not as clean cut as we'd like. It's not like you get the vision, boom, now I'm a superhero, and boom. There's a process of shedding the old shiz or integrating it in a new way and then leveling up, and it's not perfect. All right, so have some mercy for yourself. And if you're feeling like you may be someone who's stuck, or this resonated with your heart and you'd like to book a complimentary bonus soul chat with me, we can map out what it is that's going on in your world, where you're stuck, what you're disowning, and what needs to happen next for you to ride that ascension more smoothly, or to support the relationship that feels like it's all crazy. And you can do that by sending me a private message. And in the comments, I will put the link to the 5 days to orgasmic living, activating your femme power to receive more love, money, and nourishment. It's absolutely free. Lots of breakthroughs have happened in that challenge. So be sure to opt in if you haven't. Have a beautiful day. Love your light and your dark, and celebrate the people who are in ascension around you, and enjoy your ascension. All right, bye.